Have you ever played hide and seek on Zoom? Well, if you haven't, I suggest you give it a try, because this pandemic is not over yet, and we're likely to sit through a lot more online meetings, and maybe even when the pandemic is over, we'll still be doing that. So we need to find good ways of keeping a good spirit in these meetings, having fun, and keeping the energy up. And this is true regardless if you're seeing each other in a personal or professional capacity. So today I want to share with you 3 games or 3 exercises that you can use to bring your virtual meetings to life. And the first one I already mentioned, it's hide and seek, but the Zoom version. And the Zoom version of hide and seek, you play by everybody closing their eyes, and then one person goes to hide somewhere in the picture. They can hide in such a way that only a small part of them is visible, or a large part of them they can pretend to be, an armchair. Then it'll be easier to see them. But anyway, so everybody closes their eyes, that person goes away and hides, and then that person makes a sound when they're ready. It's like, ah! Or a noise to indicate that now you can see where I'm heading. And then the other people, they just type in the chat where you think that person has hid themselves. And when you guess it correctly, it's the next person's time to go. But this exercise isn't such a great start to a meeting. Like, I wouldn't personally play hide and seek at the start of a meeting. So I want to share with you something that I think is a really good way to begin the meeting in a playful but authentic way. So it's an exercise that goes like this. The person who starts, they say their name, and they say the energy that they bring to the meeting, and they make a gesture to illustrate that energy. So if I start, I might say like, I'm Victor, I feel calm. And the others, they just observe. And then it's the next person's time to say the name, what energy they are bringing to the meeting, and make a gesture to illustrate that. And this is really just another version of the question, how are you? But because it's phrased in a slightly different way, and you have to do this physical movement to illustrate how you're doing, people are more likely to share what they're experiencing. Oh, and by the way, because I see this as play in some way, I always say to people when I do these kind of exercises that play is voluntary. So if somebody doesn't feel like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to play hide and seek, I don't want to say my name and what energy I'm bringing to the meeting, and make a gesture, they can just say, pass, I'm out. And the turn goes to the next person. Usually this is enough to give people a sense of freedom that, I don't have to do this, but then they do it willingly instead of feeling forced to do it. Anyway. The third and final game it's called Exaggerate. And it's a really fun way to bring a little more energy to your meetings, especially if you had a break maybe. You come back and now you need to infuse some more energy before you discuss the budget for next quarter, or before you discuss if your grandmother should be given an extra allowance, or whatever it might be. And it goes like this. So one person, they start with a simple movement, and ideally a small one. So it might be something like, I just spin my finger once. And then the next person's turn, you need to have established some kind of order in the circle before you play this. The next person, they take the same gesture, and then they exaggerate it a little bit. So if the first person just went like this, the next person might do the same movement, but bigger. And then the third person exaggerates that. And then it just goes on and on and on. And for me, this is a hilarious exercise that starts well within people's comfort zones, but then as the movement exaggerates and gets wilder and wilder, you end up with people doing something that they wouldn't have ever done maybe straight away. But you haven't forced them to do it, and they feel comfortable doing it. Or less, they can just say, pass, I don't want to do this, of course. But to me, it highlights like the magic of play when you do it right, so to speak. And it really can get people into a crazy, energetic state, which is really great. So those are the 3 exercises. And I also want to finish with a final note to say that, dare to do one of these exercises. I know it's not so easy always to be the one to initiate something like this, especially if you haven't got a culture of this in your group or your group of friends or with your teammates. But I really think this is a way to bring about some significant social change in your group and have like significantly better online meetings. So yeah, be the change maker. Dare to try one of these games. That's it. Bye bye.